Good morning. Hey, welcome to part one in our new series titled The Happy Life. I told you yesterday that the Lord really laid the word happiness on my soul, my heart, this weekend, and I really wanted to tie into this. So the more I was praying over it, the more I was researching this concept of spiritual happiness and happiness in our Christian life, and looking into devotionals and things like that of happiness, I come across this one called I don't even remember the title of it now because I changed the title for my videos. That's why. Okay, it's called Happy You, Happy Life. If y'all want to look it up on the Bible app, the YouVersion Bible app, please do look it up. Happy You, Happy Life. It's a 14-day devotional. That's what I'm going to be going through. That's what these videos are going to be based off of. Okay, cool. So, start off with some scripture. This is the scripture for today. Psalms 37:4. Psalms 37:4 says this: Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desires. Now that's a good scripture for starting off a message about the happy life, right? I mean, it is. Take delight in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Let's break it down though, okay? First, take delight in the Lord. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean God, you're glorious, God, you're happy, God, you're, praising God, just being happy to be in God's presence? I did a little bit of research, just a little bit, didn't take much. And here's what I found. In the Old Testament, the word they used for delight in Hebrew was, well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because I can't pronounce Hebrew, but the Hebrew term they used for delight meant to bend towards, or to be inclined to. So to me, when I read that, I thought, wow, that means that to take a delight in the Lord means to lean towards God, to be inclined towards the Lord and his will and his wants and his desires. The New Testament, in the Greek term that they used in the New Testament for delight, meant it was used it was used to liken God's purpose, God's resolve, God's choices. That means that God's purpose, God's reserve, God's choice is in view. There's a reason you're doing this. You're doing this because God chose for you to do this. You're doing this because God's purpose is in this. His resolve is in this. You take delight in that. For me, it was humbling. I say humbling, but kind of eye-opening to realize that to take delight in the Lord doesn't just mean to be happy he's God. It doesn't just mean to be happy. It means to actually lean towards God, to actually take his position, to take his understanding, to feel God's presence, to take delight in the Lord. Go on just a little bit further. In the second part of the verse says, he will give you the desires of your heart. Now, this isn't talking about our physical beating heart, okay? When the heart is mentioned in scriptures in terms like this, I can't remember the exact term, but I did a study before on it. It's not talking about your physical beating heart. It's talking about your spiritual, your soul's beating presence in your body. So it's talking about giving you the desires of your soul. Our soul is our spiritual form. Do you think our soul desires a new motorcycle? Do you think our soul desires more money? Do you think our soul desires to eat pizza and donuts as much as we love them? No. Our soul only cares about one thing, and that is what? To delight in the Lord, to draw closer to God, to be in his presence and in his will, following his choices and his resolve. So it just really opened this whole verse up into my eyes, my spiritual eyes, to say, to take delight in the Lord. And it'll give you the desires of my soul, my spiritual being, which seeks after God's guidance and God's glory. To tie all this together, what does that have to do with joy? What does that have to do with happiness? Your soul is the source of your joy. It's the true source of your joy, not the physical aspirations and the material possessions. I'm sure we'll get into that later in the series. But your soul is the source of your joy. Nobody can steal your joy unless you give them permission first. You know, in Matthew 16:19, it says this. Let me turn over real quick. It says, Matthew 16:19 says, I will give you the keys to the kingdom in heaven. Whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven, and whatever you permit on earth will permit in heaven. If God's given you the keys to the kingdom of heaven, are you going to permit someone to take your joy? Are you going to permit them to take your peace, your love from your soul? No, that's a choice you make. So, my daily drink for you today is this. You hold the keys to your soul. You hold the keys. No one else does. Whatever they do, whatever they say, it's your choice to allow them to take your joy. Keep it in your soul. Keep it to yourself. Hold on to it and know that you're drawing near to God, that you're taking delight in the Lord. And guess what He'll do? He'll give you the desires of your heart. Your soul will be at peace and you'll experience happiness. That's my daily drink for today. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.